21 stores were supposed to become a conquest. In 1997, Walmart entered Germany with a plan that looked unstoppable. It had crushed rivals across the United States, expanded through Asia and Latin America, and succeeded in 15 countries. Its weapon was simple: prices so low that competitors struggled to breathe. But Germany did not collapse. 9 years later, Walmart was gone. The retreat cost roughly $1 billion. Not because shoppers were too poor. Not because the stores were too small. Not because the brand lacked money. Walmart lost because its greatest strengths became weaknesses the moment they crossed the border. Then, Europe pushed back. The world's most powerful retailer arrived with scale, confidence, and a playbook it trusted completely. Germany answered with laws, culture, and competitors that already knew the game better. Walmart did not walk into Germany as an underdog. It walked in like a company used to winning. That was the problem. Walmart's model was built on one brutal promise: sell cheaper than almost everyone else. In market after market, that promise worked. The company entered, pushed prices down, pulled customers in, and forced rivals into a corner. That formula had made Walmart one of the largest retailers on Earth. In the United States, it became a symbol of mass shopping, bargain pricing, and operational muscle. Across parts of Asia and Latin America, the same logic helped it grow fast. But Germany was different from the start. Germany was the largest retail market in Europe, which made it the obvious first battlefield for expansion. But size did not mean weakness. It meant every serious retailer had already fought there, learned there, and sharpened itself there. Walmart was not entering empty territory. Two giants were already waiting. They were not casual local shops. They were deeply experienced discount machines built around exactly the advantage Walmart thought it owned. Walmart brought low prices to a home of low prices. Aldi and Lidl understood German shoppers in a way Walmart did not. They knew what customers wanted, what they rejected, and how little patience they had for retail theater. Their stores were lean, their prices were sharp, their operations were designed around efficiency, not spectacle. This mattered because Walmart's usual opening move was no longer special. The hammer had finally hit concrete. Aldi had even expanded into the United States, meaning it already knew Walmart's home turf. This was not a sheltered competitor waiting to be overwhelmed. It was a global discount rival with its own battlefield experience. That changed everything. To enter quickly, Walmart bought a German chain called Wertkauf. The deal gave it 21 stores, existing logistics, and a ready-made supply chain. On paper, it looked like a smart shortcut into the market. But a shortcut is not a strategy. Buying stores gave Walmart buildings. It did not give customers a reason to abandon Aldi or Lidl. And in early 1997, Walmart did not have a convincing answer to that problem, so it reached for what it knew best. If Germany already had low prices, Walmart would bring something else: the American shopping experience. It would import the warmth, rituals, and customer service style that had worked at home. The problem was sitting at the top. The executive leading the German operation reportedly could not speak German. He also did not visit stores often, which meant he was separated from the customers he was supposed to understand. That gap became visible everywhere. Walmart treated culture like packaging. It assumed the product could stay the same, and only the language on the sign needed changing. Germany was about to prove that assumption expensive. Translation is not adaptation. At the entrance, greeters welcomed shoppers. At checkout, employees were expected to smile warmly. Staff were pushed into daily Walmart chants, the kind of group ritual meant to build energy and team spirit. In another market, that might have felt friendly. In Germany, it felt strange. Many shoppers did not want forced interaction while buying groceries. A sudden smile from a stranger was not automatically seen as warmth. It could feel intrusive, artificial, or suspicious. The greeters created the wrong emotion. Instead of feeling welcomed, some customers felt targeted. The entrance no longer felt neutral. It felt like the beginning of a sales performance they had not asked to join. And inside the company, things were not better. The chants that were supposed to create unity often embarrassed employees. Workers were being asked to perform a culture that did not feel natural to them. Morale began to suffer inside stores already struggling with customers. The brand was smiling. The room was not. Then came the ethics code. Walmart imported rules from the United States that required employees to report misconduct by colleagues. It also restricted romantic relationships between coworkers. In Germany, parts of this code clashed with expectations around workplace privacy. The fight eventually reached court. In 2005, a German court overturned part of Walmart's ethics policy. But by then, the damage had been building for years. Employees had already lived under a system many considered heavy-handed. Culture was now a business problem. Walmart's prices were not dramatically better than Aldi or Lidl. Its stores lacked the local loyalty those chains had built over decades. Its service style made shoppers uneasy. Its internal rules irritated staff. That is a deadly combination. A retailer needs at least one powerful reason to win. Walmart had arrived with 3 promises: cheap prices, friendly service, and disciplined operations. In Germany, each promise either failed to stand out or actively backfired. Cheap prices were already taken. Friendly service felt forced. Discipline felt intrusive. The stores were losing ground fast. After barely 3 years, Walmart needed a reset. The company could soften the culture, rethink management, and adapt to local expectations. It returned to its original weapon. It tried to make prices impossible to ignore. Walmart began cutting prices aggressively. In some cases, it sold products below cost, aiming to pull shoppers away from Aldi and Lidl and force a bruising price war. That tactic had a clear logic. A company with enormous resources can absorb losses longer than smaller rivals. If prices stay painfully low, weaker competitors bleed cash. Eventually, some leave the market, and the giant survives. Germany had already thought of that. German law restricted selling below cost when the goal was to push competitors out. The rule existed because deep-pocketed companies could otherwise buy market share by destroying rivals rather than outperforming them. Walmart ran into the law. The German Supreme Court intervened and ordered Walmart to review its pricing. The move undercut the company's attempt to use scale as a weapon. Its most familiar play was blocked almost immediately. Now the track was visible. Walmart could not out-discount Aldi and Lidl in the way it wanted. It could not rely on American-style service without alienating shoppers. It could not force its internal culture without creating employee resistance. So what did it do? It expanded its ambitions. Walmart announced plans to grow to 85 stores across Germany. That meant opening 50 new locations beyond its existing base. The thinking seemed to be that scale would eventually solve what strategy had not. But scale can multiply mistakes. If the concept is wrong, expansion does not fix it. It spreads the problem faster, hires more people into confusion, and gives leadership more stores to explain instead of one strategy to repair. Walmart kept searching for the missing piece. The company changed leaders several times, looking for someone who could fix the operation. Yet, year after year, the German business drained money from Walmart's global results. The expansion barely moved. Out of the 50 planned new stores, only 2 actually opened. For a company famous for execution, that was a stunning failure of momentum. The machine that moved mountains elsewhere was stuck. The playbook had met a wall. By this point, the contradiction was impossible to ignore. Walmart was huge, but it could not dominate. It was cheap, but not cheap enough. It was friendly, but not in a way shoppers wanted. It was disciplined, but not in a way employees accepted. It had money, but money could not buy cultural fit. It had confidence, but confidence was exactly what made the mistakes last longer. The losses kept mounting. By 2006, Walmart gave up and sold the entire German operation to Metro, a German retail company. Just 9 years after arriving, it exited the market it had once hoped would open Europe. The bill was enormous. Across those 9 years, Walmart lost about $1 billion. It was not defeated by one mistake. It was defeated by a chain reaction of wrong assumptions, each one making the next more expensive. This is why the Germany failure matters. It was not a story about a weak company. It was a story about a powerful company trusting the wrong strengths in the wrong place. Low prices were not enough because Aldi and Lidl already owned that territory. American-style friendliness was not enough because local shoppers read it differently. Corporate rules were not enough because employees resisted the culture behind them. And scale was not enough because German law limited the kind of pressure Walmart wanted to apply. The advantage did not travel cleanly. That is the hard lesson. The business model is not a passport. What works in one country can fail in another, even when the numbers look perfect and the brand is famous. Markets do not reward confidence alone. They reward understanding. They reward companies that notice when customers are not responding, when employees are uncomfortable, when competitors are stronger than expected, and when the law is not a footnote, but a boundary. Walmart entered Germany with money, scale, and a global reputation. It left with $1 billion loss and a warning for every company chasing international growth. The warning is simple. The more successful a company becomes, the easier it is to confuse its habits with universal truth. That is when expansion becomes dangerous. Not because the company is weak, because it is strong enough to ignore the signals for too long. The border did not stop Walmart. The competitors did not stop Walmart. The customer did.